Hey, what's going on everyone? Nick here. This video is going to be a comprehensive look at setting up your Shopify store, and really what I want to do is use my Collective Cultures store here just as a model to show you what some of the key points are you should be looking at on your store. All right, now this store is a case study store, and I want to point out a few things right away. This store has been flooded with traffic from people from the group, and this is just like a very side project for me that I'm really creating simply to do the training. So you can see we've already had quite a few sales here, and I haven't even been marketing the whole month, but most of this has come pretty recently since I've started actually putting some ads out there. And you can see what my conversion rate looks like here. So pretty standard, nothing that's incredible, but being able to have a 1 to 2% conversion rate should be your goal in the beginning, and that stuff can absolutely be increased, but a lot of times that's going to have to do with the products you're selling. You know, I haven't really hit something that's like a runaway winner yet, and plus I just started marketing, and plus I get hit with a ton of random traffic from people from the group that aren't here actually as customers or potential customers. They're here just looking at things and checking things out. So this is a little bit skewed, but even being skewed, I think this is a pretty good thing. And I wanted to show you this because it's important for you to understand that the setup I'm showing you does work. If you have an e-com store that's getting this type of conversion rate right here, then you can run a successful e-com store. That's these numbers are technically about standard. Can they be better? Yes, absolutely. They could be a lot better, but I'm just saying that standard is considered 1 to 2% purchase conversion rate, and the higher you get that, the more profitable you're going to be. So let's just start now with looking at this store and what we have going on in here. Okay, so if you look at it on desktop, I'm only going to do this briefly because what really matters the most is mobile. How your store looks on mobile is the most important thing, because 90% of your traffic is going to come from mobile. That doesn't mean you don't want it to look good on desktop too, but I just know that as marketers, a lot of times what we do is we sit here and we design our stuff on desktop and we want it to look really good here, but then we don't consider how it looks on mobile, and that's really where you're getting most of your traffic anyway. So this is the homepage. When it comes to the homepage, you want to be simple. You want to try to create a feeling, a story, an experience. All right. Now that's easier said than done. And you know, especially when you're running a general store, creating a story can be a little bit more difficult, but you can see what I've attempted to do here with mine, with the idea and the name Collective Cultures. And I've made it very evident right from the start with my homepage here, you know, kind of what we're about. Be different, right? So you can get the sense of what's going on right here. One person in a crowd of thousands standing out, you know, that unique, be different kind of element. And then if we scroll down, you know, if we click this, first of all, this will take to the collections over here that will have the different stuff, different cultures. You know, I followed that theme with some of my different collections, and the homepage just has some products on it. Then we come down here, and then right away we're getting something that is explaining what Collective Cultures is about, kind of telling the story of this brand, and then worldwide shipping, just to call out there with the footer at the bottom. So it's really basic, right? Some stores you'll see will have really in-depth, detailed homepages, and you can do that, but your homepage really first and foremost should be a way of selling. So, you know, have a link in here that leads to your collections, or some kind of sale you're having, or a promotion, or the, you know, collection of the month, whatever may be going on, trending styles, best-selling items, and then definitely have links to products or collections right on your homepage as well. So your homepage is just another way for people to shop. In case people do come, you know, they check you out and they go to your homepage, you know, you want it to be leading right back to your collections. You can see I don't have a ton of links up top here. This could probably be a little bit more, but if I were to add anything else, it would really just be, I'd add like a Oh, well, actually, the About page isn't up top, so I need to fix that, huh? I have it down here, but I should also have it in the top. So we'll fix that, but this is all basic out-of-the-box Shopify stuff, so this shouldn't be too difficult. You just need to find some good images to use and start uploading some products to make your store look complete. And then the FAQs page goes over some basic stuff like when will order be shipped, how quickly does it arrive, can it be tracked, different just basic questions that you should cover. Here's one of the apps I'm using. I'm sure you've seen these. These are the new spin wheel apps where you can enter in to spin and win a prize and get a lot higher engagement on your store. Start building like a little email list on your store as well. And then the contact page. Again, just kind of playing in with the theme of collective cultures. I have the email address. I have a virtual address that we're using and a virtual phone number as well. So, and then the contact form down here. So just like basic stuff that is all like the minimum that you should have. A favicon, a nice designed logo, clean layout, clean setup, good color choice, good contrast between the white, the black, the page background here, the black footer. So, you just want to think about that kind of stuff. Does it look real? Does it look legit? Do I have good composition? Do I have good contrast? Am I hitting all the basic necessary pages? And then, of course, the most important thing really is what does my product page look like? Does my product page look clean? Is it a nice setup? Is the add to cart button very visible and clear? Do I have trust badges that help people trust the site a little bit? Do I have a guarantee on my page that lets people, gives them a little bit of support? Do I have a spot for reviews? And then related items. I should have, this theme doesn't come with related items. I just haven't installed it yet, but related items and reviews are something that will really help make your page look complete. But simple works. Simple definitely works as well, and you can get more complex and you can build as you go. But in the beginning, you want to make sure it looks clean, it looks simple, and it looks trustworthy, which I think a basic setup like this does, right? And I've already been making sales, so we know that that's true. I'm going to show you how to install custom stuff like this. This is pretty easy. It's custom code that you can install here. Same thing here. Same thing with this guarantee. This is custom coded into there, so I don't have to type that out every time. Only the description is new. And I'm using the Venture theme, which I like the way it's set up. I like that, you have the image, zoom in if you want to use that. Other images are on the side here. Very clear title with clean boxes. So I like that the way the Venture theme works. It's a free theme. The other one I used to use was the Supply theme, but Supply removed some features, and I don't like how Supply looks on mobile anymore, which is important. So that's why, actually, let me come in here to navigation first and fix that main menu thing. There we go. So you want to have a few things up here too. Like the reason I have collections and then shop all, and because I want my menu bar to look full if somebody is on desktop. On mobile it doesn't even matter because that's not what they'll see. But we're gonna walk through all of this now in the back here. So just quickly, I don't want to spend too much time. There's so much free information on Shopify now about getting your store set up, and Shopify has their own help platform. Like you can, where is it? Shopify Help Center. Like there's so much information you can get in the Shopify Help Center about how to set up your store. Like everything is in here. So I'm not going to curate all of that knowledge because it would take forever. And I actually already have a video where I did a lot of that in Dropship Academy. But some of Shopify has changed. So this is like the new updated view. So you'll come in here to general, you'll set your store name, your account email, legal name of business, phone number, address, all that good stuff. and just basic format stuff that you'll get set up. Shipping is where one of the most important parts. You want to make sure you have your shipping set up correctly. All right, so the way that I do mine is I just do it by weight, and right now I have it set up pretty simple, where for domestic, what I'm doing here in the US is just standard shipping starting at $4.95 and then up to 10 pounds. But I'm actually going to add a rate really quick, because all you really want to make sure when you're doing shipping, the most important thing is that it's set up so that it'll automatically come set up. I think Shopify sets it up with USPS or something like that. And, but you want to do it. You don't want to give people shipping options they can't actually use, right? And if you're drop shipping from AliExpress, you don't really have too many shipping options. It's usually just e-packet or free shipping. So you want to make sure that you're labeling your shipping right. Shipping is one of the biggest conversion areas, honestly. There's so many different schools of thought out there. Free shipping is definitely going to increase conversions on your store, no doubt about it. If you offer free shipping and you have a major call out, promotion bar, announcement bar on your store that says free shipping on all orders worldwide, that's going to increase conversions. But it's also going to really reduce your margins. So it's like, what do you want? Do you want to get more conversions but not be making any money? Or do you want to get less conversions but know that you're profitable on the conversions that you get? So that's really something that you need to decide for yourself. So I have mine set up starting at $4.95 shipping no matter what, because I make every item weigh a pound. So I do the weight-based rates because it's an easy way for me to control my shipping based on two things. Number one, custom merchandise is actually going to charge shipping. If you're drop shipping products, a lot of the drop ship products, they may be free shipping on AliExpress, but these shirts, these coffee mugs, your vendor is going to charge you probably $4.95 shipping. So you either have to build that into the cost and have an expensive shirt, or you have to charge the shipping. Otherwise it really just doesn't make sense to sell a shirt without shipping. If you're selling, the shirts are like what? $10 to fulfill for these nice tri-blend shirts. I think these are $10 or $11. So, $10, and then if you figure your marketing cost is going to be like $5 to $8, you're already down to like a $4 profit margin. And then if you take the shipping and take a hit on that as well, you're not going to make any money. So you need to make sure that you're covering yourself on those areas, and you'll be able to see by going in and looking at whatever vendor you're using what kind of shipping charge there is. And then your basic, you can either build it into the price, you can either eat it yourself and just offer free shipping, or you can create rates based on whatever. You can do price-based rates as well, where like if you want to do free shipping over a certain amount of dollars or whatever, you can do that. But this is how I do it. Standard shipping, and then your items that are custom merchandise, they'll automatically have a weight assigned to them from the vendor, right? But your other items, you can assign the weight. So you can start it out, and I just usually make all my items weigh a pound. So they start out at $4.95 shipping, and then they go up from there based on how many items somebody orders. And, making sure that you are covered when you do this all the way up to 50 pounds or higher, because that means, if somebody's going to order like a lot of items, then you want to make sure that you're covered. So, because otherwise they won't be able to check out if you don't have a shipping rate. The calculated rates here, this is where you can do actual real rates, which is what Shopify will automatically set you up with a lot of times. So you want to come in here and change that. Otherwise, you might have people selecting first class mail shipping rates, and they're going to be upset when they pay for that and realize that's not actually what they're getting, right? So it's really, really important. Your shipping is like where it needs to be. Now, one thing that I've done, this is a major conversion area, all right, your shipping. And so we're going to talk about this for a second. A lot of people, what they don't like is they come to the cart and they have no idea what type of shipping they're going to be charged. And this is where you can see a lot of drop off. One thing I've done to see how this helps, because Shopify does not give us too many options to mess with the checkout page. You can't really mess with checkout at all once they go past the add to cart. But this is your cart template page, and we can mess with this, right? And so what I do here is I add a little note: discount codes and shipping added during checkout to complete your order. That way people know that there is some type of shipping that may be added to this, right? People just don't want to go into the process not knowing what they're about to not knowing what it's going to be. So when they come in the checkout here, hopefully that prepares them a little bit more for the fact that shipping is not calculated yet. And then down here they see continuous shipping method. Now another thing you'll notice is I'm doing the order reservation here, that this is a custom code. It automatically puts your order reserved for 10 minutes and then custom drops in these security badges. And then another thing that it does is when you're in here filling out an address, you can use this Google API integration to automatically have this pre-fill thing come in, which can definitely help you with your conversions because people don't have to type out the whole thing. All right, I'm going to show you all of this. I'm just kind of going through a brief overview right now. Okay, so save that. Now, if you're going to be doing worldwide shipping, you have to set that up as well because that is not domestic. That will be a worldwide, well, depending on where you're at, of course. So, but if you're in the US, then US is domestic, and you still want to set up your worldwide shipping. Okay, so that's here. And you can come in, you can select the countries that you want to include by hitting that and then just coming through and going down the entire list. I generally select all the countries I think have all the countries that are far enough along where they have the technology and people have the spending purchase power to buy stuff. Because a lot of countries just are not really there yet in the world when it comes to online shopping. So, you'll go through and you'll do that. And then you'll come back down here and set up your weight-based rates. Now, again, for me, now I don't know why I should change that. Not the free shipping, but the $4.95. Right, because it doesn't cost me anything from AliExpress. Generally, AliExpress, the shipping might be a little bit more for ePacket, but it's not going to be too much more. The reason that the flat worldwide shipping is higher, though, when we start getting to these other numbers is because you get charged more by, again, your custom merchandise vendors. So T-Launch charges $10 to international ship a shirt, depending where it is in the world. And some of these vendors are working on opening up other fulfillment centers worldwide, but you want to make sure that you understand the shipping cost, because if you sell a $20 shirt international and you don't have your shipping set up and you get hit with a $10 shipping charge, you could lose money on that sale. So you absolutely need to have that set up, and people are generally going to understand. International shipping is not, it's still not cheap, right? Amazon may have something figured out where they can handle it, but for the most part, people understand that if you're not Amazon, that you're going to be charging shipping on stuff like that. So and you can offer free worldwide shipping if you're just doing AliExpress products, because the AliExpress ships from China, so for them everything is, it doesn't matter. US is the same as most of the other countries, but if you're going to be doing custom merchandise, print-on-demand items, and you're going to market them worldwide, then you want to make sure you have your worldwide shipping set up. So that's it for going through the shipping. Files is just where you can upload certain stuff. Payments, I'm not going to go in there because that has my personal information, but that's where you set up your payments, right? It's really simple. You go in, if you are US, UK, Canada, you'll have no problem setting up the Shopify Stripe payment, which is the automatic secure checkout encryption. Also, you should set up PayPal. I know a lot of people don't like PayPal, or I should say a lot of merchants don't like PayPal, but the average consumer loves PayPal. All right, most stores are going to see like a 40-60 or 50-50 split between PayPal and regular secure encryption. And for a lot of people worldwide, if you can't use Stripe, and if you can't use Stripe Atlas, then PayPal may be your only option. So, that I use PayPal and I use Stripe, and I set up a PayPal business account for every store. I don't charge taxes. Sales channels is where you can add these other things like I have. And it requires a little work because like Pinterest, you have to get this stuff on there, and then you have to actually usually go a step further. Like with Amazon, it says visible products, but Amazon, you actually have to create UPCs and write like extremely detailed descriptions and go through categorizing each product to get it on there. BuzzFeed, I haven't really even looked into yet. Pinterest, you can generally just automatically push all your products to Pinterest as long as you have a Pinterest account, but they declined my buyable pins thing right now because of one chart that they think is inappropriate. And then Winello, just another site that you can push stuff to. Ways of getting your stuff out there and possibly getting some more free traffic that leads back to your store. And there's more sales channels you can do as well. Checkout process. This is another spot where you want to do a couple things. Make accounts optional. I require first and last name. Company hidden, optional. Use shipping address by default. By default, customer agrees. Do not automatically fulfill. And then you generate your sample refund, privacy, and terms of service so that you can not only have these in your checkout, but then what I always do at this point, as I'm going through the settings, is I'll open up a separate tab. I'll come in here to pages, and then I'll create a page for each one of those: privacy, refund, terms of service. And all I do is I come in here, start at the top, scroll through really quickly, make sure everything is where it needs to be, because sometimes they'll put your address in here, sometimes they'll put a phone number, sometimes they'll mess the email address up. So I go through it and spot check it for just like where they put personal information in. Like right here, for example, you can see I accidentally missed that, so I want to change that to United States, get my personal address out of there. Down here, I need to change that. Wow, I didn't even realize. I need to change this and get my personal email address out of here. Right, so that's what you want to do when you're doing this, and I should now come back through here and check again. Okay, so that's why you'll do that, and then as I just did there, I just select the whole thing, and then I paste it right in here as a page, right, and then now you're able to create that page. Same thing with each one of them. With the privacy, see all of them, and that's like so. It's a good thing I checked this. Sometimes I move too quickly for my own self, so I had missed this stuff clearly. And it's not even like people read this stuff, but if they did read it, obviously I do want to have my personal information removed and only have the business information. Say like all this stuff. Okay, so I gotta fix, which page is that? Privacy policy. So that's fixed, and now let's check the last one, returns. This is a virtual address I set up through a company called ipostal1.com. You can set one up for $9.99 a month. Really easy. Okay, so that's fixed, and now last page, refund policy. So there's that. So you'll create those 3 pages just like I just did there. Okay. And that's basically everything for the settings, I believe, right? Check out notifications. Oh, you can come in here and you can edit notifications too. Order confirmation is one that I edit sometimes because like they have all this stuff in here is fine, all this code. Don't mess with that unless you understand code, because that's all the stuff that codes in their transaction, their shipping address, and all that kind of stuff. It looks like this is good. This is the part that I usually take out. We will notify you when it has been sent. Like, you can change this because so I'll do something like that to let people know, how they can check on their order and kind of help myself on the customer service side of things. So that's most of the basic stuff. And then once you have your settings done, generally the next thing what I'll do is I'll come to pages, and I already showed you, like, I'll create the privacy refund terms of service. The contact page is really easy because that's just a matter of installing the improved contact form, and then they'll give you a contact template you can use. That looks just like this, page.contact, and I just have an image in here with some basic information for them to be able to get in touch. Definitely want a very clean, concise contact page with multiple points of contact, because that is something that people need. They need to trust the store, so they need to be able to have a readily available way to get in contact with you if they need to. And then the FAQs page is pretty cut and paste. I mean, you can go on almost any major Shopify store, brand, e-commerce store, and find their FAQ page and just model after that. So that's exactly what I've done, talking about shipment mostly, when will it arrive, how can I track it, change or cancel, address, like just normal things that you would have in an FAQ page, right? So that's pretty simple there. And then finally is the About Us page. That's the only thing I haven't talked about yet. And that goes into a larger overall concept that I want to talk about now that we're going to start looking at customizing your theme, right? That's really the next stage that I want to talk about, is customizing your theme, and a few different conversion points that you need to be aware of when you're putting your theme together. And then I'll wrap it up by talking about apps and some of the custom HTML stuff. So when you come in here, the only thing I didn't cover, hold on, preferences. Preferences is where you will put in your page title, a little description for your store. Google Analytics. Absolutely set up a Google Analytics account. It's very valuable to you. You should have one, and it's really easy. It's free. Just go to just go over to Google and type in Google Analytics. It'll walk you through being able to setting up setting up a website, getting your tracking code, and then this is where you put it right here. This is where you put your Facebook Pixel ID right here. For the Shopify integration, I talk about how to install the Pixel in a video in the Facebook ads video. And then this is where you remove the password from your store when you're ready as well. Your domain you can connect right in here, and you don't have to buy it through Shopify. I just use an external host, and they give you directions for installing your domain. So all of that stuff's pretty basic. Now let's get into your actual theme. I use the Venture theme, which is a free theme. There's two free themes that I really like. I mean, there's the Venture and Supply work really well, and then there's a lot of themes in here you can select between paid and free. Most of their paid themes I don't really think are all that worth the money. I always look at, a lot of themes may look really cool from the homepage, okay? And the homepage is important, don't get me wrong. I don't want to act like the homepage is not important. But what you really want to look at when you're looking at a theme is the product page, because what we do is we run direct traffic from our ads to our product page. So it's really important that, how did it end up on the About Us page? Like this theme, I really like this theme because they have a lot of cool stuff here in the header, as far as social, and then their menu, and then some of these call out things. But let's look at a product page. So this product page is actually pretty good. I like this theme because they have the image, they have the call out here with the price, and then add the cart button, all related. So this is a good product page, and then all this stuff down here. But this is what you want to look at the most, because this is where your conversions are going to happen. So you want to make sure whatever theme you're settling on has a good product page, very large image space, clear, very clear setup, defined areas for title, price, size, or other options. Add the cart button, description, and then where they have a spot for related products, and then down at the footer, right? So the theme that I'm using is the Venture theme. This is a free theme, and when you install it, then you'll just be able to come in and customize theme, and this is where you'll spend a lot of your time when you're first getting started. Now, I like to customize based on mobile. I mean, you want to know what your site looks like on desktop, of course, but a lot of times what people do is they will do the whole thing on desktop, and they don't even realize that you have this little spot down here to view it on mobile. You want to see what your store looks like on mobile for sure. So let's go over a few conversion points of kind of how you want to make sure your theme is, with just some basic ideas. Number one, you want a clean header, okay? Some of the headers are really cool that have the announcement bars in there, and they have like the other like call out bars, announcement things that you can add, and those are certainly cool things. But no matter what, you want a very clean header. This is one of the reasons I like the Venture theme. I like the way the menu is right over here on the side. You have the logo in the middle, and then your shopping cart right there. Like I like that. I think that looks really clean. I also like when they have an announcement bar like right under here as well. I think that looks good too. You want to have a header, homepage slider. If you're using like a hero banner like this or a slider, you want to make sure that it looks good on desktop and on mobile, right? You want to make sure the image that you're selecting when it's compressed is still going to look the same and have the same effect. So that's important, to find a good image like that, and then have some type of call out here that leads them towards the, the homepage is definitely meant to kind of tell a story and explain what your brand is about, but at the same time it's about selling. You want to be pushing from the homepage to your collections or your products. So that's what this does right here. They click on this, it'll take them to my collections page. Same thing as here. And then I have a couple products showing up in the homepage. There's a lot more on desktop. It just doesn't show as many on mobile. And then at the bottom is where I have some of the information that kind of sets the story and the framework of what type of store this is. One of the important things that I think you need to have, no matter what, whether you're a niche store or a general, it might be easier as a niche store, but even as a general, you want to have some kind of story behind what you're doing, some type of branding going on here. So for me, and it really starts with coming up with your domain name. I mean, whatever domain you select is going to be really important to your store, because that's the whole theme of everything. So for me, I went with the Collective Cultures theme, where it's a general store, and that's my way of explaining why I'm going to have so many different types of items that relate to different passionate audiences, right? Collective Cultures, celebrate what makes you unique. Online store based around bringing items and apparel that express your unique culture, right? And so that's kind of what the whole idea here is, and I explain that with a cool image right on the front. And then I have a call out to worldwide shipping, letting people know that this is a store that will serve you anywhere you are in the country. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. If you need support, please email us here. So that's a very simple homepage. The more products, the more collections you can display on your homepage, the better. If you have an Instagram feed, like a shoppable Instagram feed, that's a great thing to link into your homepage as well. If you have coupon codes, or like major accomplishments, if you want to put on there like brand affiliations that you have, or if you've been featured in certain magazines and publications, and a lot of this may not apply to some people, but some of them it may. I mean, those are just the kind of things. Your homepage is all about talking about you as a brand, and also pointing them to like your best stuff, your best collections, your best items that they can go buy and start shopping, and they can get an idea of who you are as a brand as well. Every theme will look different with what it gives you for your homepage. So your homepage is important, of course, and you want to pick a theme that lets you have a good homepage. But again, it's not the only thing that matters, because with what we're doing, direct market like Facebook traffic, Google ad shopping ads, we're sending people right to a product page for the most part. So your product page is where a lot of the conversions are going to happen. Some basic stuff with the theme also as well that applies to every page besides the header is the footer. You want to have a footer that looks full, a footer that looks complete. Nothing says I'm a scam site or don't trust me more than a footer that is like just one giant blank space, and there's nothing in it. So I don't think you have to overdo it, man. Some people are out there overdoing it, like trying to cram all kinds of trust badges and like gimmicks in their footer. But if you look at a lot of sites out there, you're going to see that mostly the footer is about giving the information, right? You have your customer service links, you have your spot for being able to get in contact, and then you have a newsletter spot to sign up. Trust badges down at the bottom that Shopify automatically supplies, and then this as well. I leave that down here. Powered by Shopify is fine with me. I have no issues with that. So that's again, it's not. Is it the most complete, most complex footer of all time? No. There's other stuff that you can add, and you can do that by simply going and looking at other sites that are in your niche or your category or whatever you're trying to do. See how they set up their footer. If they're a site getting a lot of traffic, they're converting well. This is like the bare minimum that you would want to have is at least a couple columns here with a few links for them to be able to contact. And you set that stuff up right in your navigation. So when you come to navigation, you'll see the main menu and then the footer menu. And if you click on this, you can see that is the handle, that it's the footer menu, and I just named it customer service and added in the links that I wanted to add. Now, when it comes to the product page, so if we click on an actual product, the important thing about the product page is making sure that your image is front and center. Okay, first of all, you want to make sure your images are very clear front and center and they actually fit into the above the fold, which you'd be surprised sometimes, depending on the size of your logo, depending on if you have product breadcrumbs here that show like what page you're on, that can push your image down really far. So you want to make sure that your product page is set up and looking nice. Title, price, very clean setup here for all the options, variants that go with that product. Add the cart button that is a clear color that they will be able to see, like sticks out from what they're looking at. Trust badges that I'll show you how to install. Description, the sizing chart is something that is just because this is a shirt here. More trust badges, and then a guarantee that I put in here that is also hard coded in. So I'll show you how to hard code that because I don't want to type that in every time, but I think that this is an important trust thing besides just having the badges, also having some type of guarantee. Since they've never heard of my site, I'm not a big brand, it's important to give them some type of guarantee so they know that they can reach out to us. And then a spot for customer reviews, which I just don't have any yet, but reviews are a good thing to have. And then the related items, I don't have a related items app, but that's also a great thing that you can include like right here as well. So that is the basic overview of the product page. And again, I'm going to show you how to install this stuff here, which I think is great for just making the page look a little, it just pops a little bit more, it gives you a little bit more trust in it. And like these guarantees down here, they just give you a little bit more reassurance shopping here. If somebody adds something to cart, that's what happens with this theme. You want to test all of this on mobile and on desktop. So then you'll see they added the cart, and you want to see what your cart looks like. Okay, so I customized mine a little bit. This is all normal here, like this is how it comes. But then down here, I did this. I added this into mine, discount codes and shipping added during checkout to complete your order. So I just added that as a note because sometimes I think your checkout, again, is a major conversion area where you want to make sure that people are understanding the process. And you might, a lot of times with shipping, you get a lot of drop off simply because people don't know what to expect when it comes to shipping and they don't like being surprised. So, or with discount codes, like you'll give somebody a discount code, but they don't understand where they put it in. They're looking at the shopping cart, and you want to make sure that when they go to the next page to check out, that they understand the process they're about to be walked through. So that's how I do that. And they'll see here that shipping is there, and they'll come down here to put their information in. That's really it though. You can't customize it. This is something I'm going to show you how to add the script for this, but you can't customize any of this stuff. It's just not, unless you're on the Shopify Plus plan, you can't customize that. So that's really some of the basic stuff for just kind of walking you through what you're looking at with the overall setup. You want clean product images. You want to make sure all your images are bright and colorful. You want to make sure it looks good on both mobile and desktop. Your composition is good. Your contrast is good. Lots of clean white space to make sure it looks like a professional site and that it's well done. And have a clear refund policy that people can find on your site no matter where they're at. And you don't really have to worry about a lot of this stuff like being responsive or loading times because Shopify pretty much out of the box takes care of that for you. But if you're starting to pack a lot of images into your site and you're getting hundreds of products on there, you do want to make sure that your site loads quickly, and there are apps for that can help you compress images and things like that. But mine is really straightforward and simple because I don't use too many images. I just have the ones that are like on the homepage here, on the About Us page, and then on the contact page, right? So in the general settings, this is where you'll set your colors for your header. Here's one of the apps I'm using. You've probably seen that before. I'll talk about that in a minute. You want to make sure your header background, like this will be a little bit different for everything you use because the layout will be different, but you'll have all these different things where you can set all your different colors, right? And you just want to pick a color scheme that is clean, professional, and has like a good balance. Typography, I like to use the Helvetica because it's a very clean font. It's a very readable font on mobile. But no matter what you use, make sure that it's not like a goofy, weird font. Like you want it to match whatever your theme really is, the story you are trying to tell. So speaking of story, your About Us page is really the perfect place for you to tell your story. And when it comes to writing a good About Us page, I believe that it's really just an extension of what you should have already been kind of thinking about. When you're customizing your theme, you should already have like a story that you're trying to tell. And I know I keep saying that and it's kind of philosophical, but that's what branding is. You want to have an idea. You want to have something that is the underlying philosophy of what you're doing. Even if it's just a general store where you're trying to find great niche products to sell people, you have to be more than that. You can't just be like a deal site. You can be a deal site. That can be what you're about, giving great deals. But, put that into a story somehow and make it make sense, make it fun, make it entertaining, make it social for people who are coming to check out your site, your store, so that it makes sense. What I did here with the About Us page is I went with kind of an abstract type of deal here. That's what my whole Collective Cultures idea is about, is kind of a little bit abstract to, identify and celebrate the uniqueness of people and everything. And so here's what I ended up doing with my About Us. I said, we all sort of live in our own little world, don't we? And the experiences we have, the values we learn, the perspective we develop as we get older, the people we choose to let into our little worlds, that all kind of forms into our own culture that represents the life we choose. Wait, did we just go too deep there? Seriously though, collectivecultures.com is about something, and the picture we chose above by Roland Gonzalez is so perfect in so many ways. And then I just go on to kind of give my idea of, what this is all about and why we settled on this name and why we're picking the types of products that we're picking. All right, so that's my overall story. Whether you like it or not, I have a story at least. I have a theme. I have something that makes sense. I'm about something. I'm not about nothing. And that's just for a case study store that I set up. You want to have something there. Otherwise, your store is not going to make sense. It's going to feel detached, and you need to have a way to make people understand what you're about. In here, collection page is where you can just, this is pretty big. This is all stuff that, again, that will kind of change from page to, or theme to theme. Social media is where you can add your accounts. I don't have any set up right now for this because, again, it's just a case study store. Favicon, where you can set that. And then checkout, this is where you can add images. You can make it look all kinds of crazy if you want to. But for me, I use that checkout conversion countdown timer that I have that comes with those 2 security stamp images. So I don't use any other types of background images or anything like that. And that's basically it, I guess. The only other thing really is when you're looking at the header, make sure that your logo is not massive. You really don't want like a giant header because that just kind of is distracting. So that's everything for this section really, and just kind of walking through some of the conversion points for the way that you want to design your theme to look good, to feel professional, to feel inviting, and to have a story that people can relate to. Discount codes, if you're going to be using discount codes, that you can set those up in here. And we don't really need to look here. Lastly, what I want to look at is the apps. Oh, no, before we get into the apps, I'm sorry. Lastly, I forgot what I want to look at is editing the HTML. Okay, so to get some of the things that I've shown you, mostly on the product page. Okay, these secure stamps here, and then this guarantee right here. And then as well the checkout page. I'm going to show you these couple of things, and I'm going to include, I'm going to show you where to do it, and then I'm going to include the code you use as well. So we'll start with using these security stamps, because I know that a lot of people want to be able to do this. So the first thing is finding the image, right? You have to be able to find the image. These are separate images that I've created. You can download, you can go to Google and really just type in like trust badges, right? So, and then you can see right here a bunch of trust badges. This is, like people are always making them. And I don't, you can copy. I'm never one that is just going to say, hey, go ahead and go out there and copy something exactly, but there's really nothing wrong with it. Some of this stuff I think is a little overboard. Like all of this is just kind of screaming that I'm trying to convince you to buy here, so, you can do your study. As you can see, there's been studies done of what ones people find the most trustworthy. Obviously, don't get them if they're not true. Don't put a BBB thing on your site if you're not accredited with the BBB, all right? You can generally put this on there because you're using Shopify security. You can use a PayPal one, like the secure encryption ones. If you have McAfee, you can use that as well. So, you can do that. There's satisfaction guaranteed, all kinds of stuff, right? And you can put together your own things in image editors. It's not difficult to do, all right? And so once you have one, what the code looks like for that is right here. You'll take, this is how you do it, all right? You'll find the secure checkout stamp that you want to use, and then next you have to load the asset. So what that looks like is like this. Here's where you load it to. All right, when you're in your theme, it's not product.liquid. This will just direct you to the product template section here. All right, so first though, you come to your assets and you can see where I uploaded mine. And it's really easy to add an asset. You just come here and you upload a file, and all that means is you're uploading an image. So what you would do is you would, you would choose file, and then you would come into here. You would come into wherever you keep your checkout stamps, and you would find which one it is, and you would upload it, all right? Once you upload it, it'll be in here, and you'll see it. So now what you need to do is you need to open the image in a new tab, because this specific image, you want to make sure it's a PNG image, all right? PNG as the file, when you save it, means that it's a transparent background, okay? And you can see that right here. This is the file name, right? That's what I uploaded. That is the file name from my computer. It's a .png. But what we want is the whole link, all right? Because this is where the image is hosted on my store. So once you have the link, then I have these instructions you can use. You get picture link from asset, paste it right here. And then what you'll do is you'll take that picture link and you'll insert it into the HTML code right here in between the quotation marks, okay? So in between these image source quotation marks, you'll put your image that you just grabbed, all right? Now you'll get the completed link, which is this, and you place that completed link in your product template, either in the product.liquid or the product.template. It depends where it redirects you to. All right, and you place it underneath the end of the add to cart code. So here's what it looks like. We went to product.liquid first, like I showed you. It says please go to the products.template. Okay, so we go here, product-template.liquid. Now, there's a lot of code in here. You don't want to mess with most of it, but what you do want to look for is to come through here and look for the add to cart button. You can follow it along with it by coming down and just reading. Okay, now we're starting to see where cart and add are, right? So this is where our add to cart button is. Product select, product form, add to cart text. So you see exactly where it is, right? Add to cart text, and then here's the bottom of it, form. All right, and now here's where I pasted that link. That completed link I had, pasted right here. okay? And then you'll see what I did here is above it, I added this code. So this is all custom that I added in between. This is what it used to look like, okay? That's what it used to look like before I came in here. And then I came in here and added this custom code. And you can mess around with it. Like if I save it, you'll see that it'll remove this. Okay, boom. And it's just back to the normal description. So it really makes a big difference, I think, in the page to add it. And then if you're wondering, I'm going to show you. So when I save it now, okay, right like that. So now the difference though, I want to show you something. This BR and this HR, I want to show you what they mean. They're both coding terms for space and break. So you see right now how there's this line break right here and there's a space right here. If I refresh this after taking that out, you'll see that it's going to squish the whole thing together. So that really helps. Those are just things that help separate it. So when you put this line of code in, you're going to want to come right here and put a BR up top here. That's going to give you a space, and then you'll put an HR right here. That will give you a space with a line break that'll help separate the page a little bit more and make it a little bit more clean. Just like that. Okay? Now we do the same thing down here with this. The only difference with that is it's a new image and it's a new place that we put it. So you can see though we put it right here for that. It comes right under the product description. You can generally see through your code by looking for the spots that you need to recognize. Here's the product description part. Okay, so we found that and then we pasted this image there. Same exact steps, right? We loaded the asset. We came in here, right here we loaded the asset, the secure stamps asset. I loaded it, and then I opened it in a new image. Now this was not a PNG, this was a PNG file, but it has a white background, so I had, you know, like it can work as long as you're using a white on white background, it can still work just fine. So anyway, I grabbed this file name right here, and then I came back over to my page and I put that in right there. And then, you know, same process. So then I get my picture link. Now I take that, I put it right here in my image source. And then I take my completed link, right, and I put it right here. Now I have my completed link, and I'm going to go find where that needs to go in the product section, right? So again, this is going right under the product description. So you're looking for the place in your product.template where your product description ends. And so you can see that part right here. This is the div class product description. All right. And so I put it in right here and pasted it, and then it shows up right here. All right. Now here's the guarantee that comes right after that. You can see I typed it in right under the, I added this break right here. And if this is a little confusing, I mean, you really just need to copy exactly what I'm showing you. Okay, and then I did some custom code. Our guarantee with the tag strong here on one end with strong on the other end, that line ends it. So that makes it bold. All right, strong is just a way of coding bold in there. And then I wrote out the lines of text, just straight up wrote out the lines of text that I wanted. And when you want a paragraph break, you do that. You do BR, BR, and that does the paragraph break in between. All right, so this is stuff you don't have to do if you don't want to, but I'm just showing you how you can do it if you want to custom code that stuff into your theme. You just need to really look for the spots. All right, you can add stuff into your theme, save it and check it, and just, you know, always what you want to do is don't delete something that you don't know how to put back, right? So a lot of times what I'll do is if I'm messing with stuff in here, I might remove it, but I'll put it on like a notepad somewhere. That way if I need to put it back, I remember what line I was at and I put it right back to that line that it was in. So I can always go back to what I was doing if I need to. But this is just showing you how you can custom code some stuff on your product page so that you don't have to go through there. Because the other way to do it would be to add these images in there every single time, which is what I used to do with my other store. But this is something that lets you just have it custom coded in there automatically. Okay. So finally, the last part that we're going to look at is the apps that I have installed on this store. So most of these are custom merchandise print on demand apps. That's what this is, Printify, T-Launch, and Viral Style. T-Launch is what I use mostly for coffee mugs and t-shirts, racerbacks, all the shirts and stuff you see on my site. Coffee mugs, all of that. Viral Style is what I'm using for the large canvas prints. I think it's really got a great canvas platform. Printify I think is cool because it has like custom journals that you can print. I mean, they all offer the same stuff. They all offer t-shirts and they all offer canvases, but some of them just have more unique items. And for me, I like T-Launch's t-shirts better, and I like some of the unique items from some of these things, like the canvases from here, the journals from here. I haven't really used this one much. I just had it in there to check it out. Advanced Custom Products is something I haven't used much yet. That's where you can kind of personalize items. Market Hero is the email I'm using. I'm going to have a separate training for that because they're just now releasing a brand new Shopify update that's really cool. Product Reviews is your basic product reviews app from Shopify that's free. You want to make sure with this that you can turn off auto publish in case people leave you a bad review, right? And so that's something, you want to make sure you can screen the reviews first. Sales Pop is a free app that you can use that is the one that shows when people, that little pop-up thing here that comes up every couple of seconds that shows when people purchase something. And you can customize the message in Sales Pop if you want to. Like sometimes it'll pop up and show, based on the time or the day that they purchased, but you can change it if you want to just have like a general message. It's not showing up. Where is it? It might be because I've been on the site too long. Sometimes it cookies the site, so it's not overbearing on people. And then the Spin a Sale interactive email pop-up. This is just like Wheelio. It's just a little bit cheaper, and I just decided to try it. But this is a cool app you can use. So let me just look at them really quickly, I guess, because it'll only take a minute. Man, just really not working well, right now. Alright, so this is cool. Spin a Sale. It's just like Wheelio. You get to come down here, customize what you want it to look like. You can put a logo in there if you want to. I guess I should. And then you can set what your prizes are, set what your losing descriptions are, and then save that. You can even put custom CSS in there. So it's really cool. And then you can make it look however you want, and this is a great way that you can collect emails. Now it's all based on how much traffic you're getting, obviously. I think I got 1 subscriber yesterday from using this. So I've seen some good case studies though, and I'm trying this out on every store that I run. Server error, that's why it's not working. But it's definitely something cool to try out. This one comes with a free trial. Wheelio is like $14 a month, I think. This one's like $10 a month. Sales Pop is free. Maybe that's why it's not working right now. But this does the basic same thing that Notify does as all the other ones do. I mean, they're all the same thing, okay? And then finally, the Dropified app. I have a separate video where I talk about using Dropified and AliExpress to import products. So I've been using Dropified because they allow you to actually hook right in with your cashback bonus, which is really cool. And Overload no longer allows you to do that unless you're paying them on the Pro plan. So I recommend Dropified for people who are importing and drop shipping products from AliExpress. So these are, oh, and then the abandonment cart protector. This is the app I still use for abandoned carts. There's a few of these now. Convergio does the same thing, and then some of the email platforms do the same thing as well. But I still like this one, and they've actually included more features now with their same basic plan, where you can do new offers for people that abandon, still the same basic abandonment. And then you also now have completed orders, follow-ups you can send, and additional follow-ups. So there's some cool stuff in here now that you can do with the abandonment protector. So that's cool as well. And that's basically a look at the apps that I'm using for this store right now, and just kind of the overall view of how everything has been working for me. Trying to think if there's anything else to cover really, but I think that's it. That's basically, going through the basic of the basic setup of a store and what you want it to look like. And I always recommend getting your store set to a good enough position. Like, that's what this is really. I spent like a week, 2 weeks going through and getting all this stuff done. I've actually spent, quite a bit of money on getting this store set up simply because I want it to be a great case study store for you guys to see what something looks like that is very clean and professional looking, and has good designs and has good products in it. So I think this is a good example of where you can start. And of course, as your brand grows, you can get more complicated. You can add more apps, more custom features, maybe get a paid theme. But just with a simple setup like this, this looks like an a lot of apps, but most of these are free apps. These are all really free, except for Customplex was a custom app that requires money. Dropified is free until you start hitting a certain amount of orders. Market Hero is an email autoresponder, so that's of course not free. And then Spin a Sale has a charge as well, but everything else on here is free. So really right now my overhead on this store on the basic plan with the apps I'm using is probably like $50 a month. So that's really not bad. You have $50 a month to be able to get a store all set up and looking professional, and then you have Dropified to start being able to pull in great products from AliExpress, and then you also have Ecom Library, which I talk about in the Custom Merchandise Academy, which is where I got most of my designs on here that you see. A lot of these I just outsourced and bought for like $20 a pop, and then I come in here and I put them in on multiple items. Some of them I designed myself, like the Ecom Empires shirt and some of these canvases. But again, like with the canvases, I just go to stock image sites and I find stock images to use as well. So that's everything for this video. I hope you found this really valuable as some insight into setting up a store properly and getting all your settings adjusted and everything looking good. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to share them in the group. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.